not the best game, but I think, um, yeah, not the worst results, like you guys said. I think we're still in it. I think we move on, and not sure what's going to happen with Japan and the, who will face in the round of 16. But I think in this kind of tournament, right, you might have a rough game like this. These Middle Eastern teams are very good. They're very physical. I think these kind of things can happen. So I think it's more of a relief that we got the second goal, got the
Yeah.
draw, move on, and just take care of business against Malaysia.
Some fans in the comments are saying, they want to lose this game to avoid Japan in the next round. What's your feeling on that? Do you want to just, win as many games you can, and whoever you face, kind of thing?
Yeah, so let me translate that real quick. 한국 분들 그 채팅에서 질문 주셨는데 일부러 져서 일본 일본을 피한다든지 아니면은 어차피 진 거 이제 일본을 피해서 잘 됐다 뭐 이런 말들이 있어서 한번 물어볼게요. So I agree with you, Sam, what you said during the stream, where I think it's better to win all the games. I think it's good to have all the players in form, keep rolling in the tournament, because I think when you have games every 4 days, I
Mm.
think momentum is important. I think you need to be fit, sharp, ready to go every game. So I don't agree. I mean, if you play in Japan round of 16 or in the final, it doesn't really matter to me. I think, you get them out of the way. And they lost the last game, right? So,
Hmm.
maybe, it's better to meet them right now. So let me translate that real quick. 그래서 제 생각은 이제 일본이 언제 만나든 중요하지 않고 이제 선수들의 이렇게 분위기가 중요하니까 지금 만나도 상관이 없다고 저는 생각하거든요. 대한민국 팀이 이기는 게 더 좋다고 생각을 해서. Yeah, go ahead,
Mm.
Sim.
Yeah. In terms of today's performance, though, I thought Sonny was much better than he was in the first game, wasn't he? I thought he was much more
Mm,
involved, creating things. Obviously, got a
yeah.
goal and kind of an assist. He was given an own goal, but obviously he set up the own goal.
Mm,
But what was interesting, obviously, he started off in the centre in the first half. Maybe wasn't as involved. And once he moved over to the left, got a bit more space, was getting on the ball a lot more, and was able to
mm.
create. So, what did you feel like about Sonny? Because it wasn't his best game in the first game, was it? But I thought much
Yeah.
better today.
Yeah, let me translate that. 그래서 심이 말하는 거는 손흥민 선수가 첫 경기 바레인전보다 오늘 더 좋았는데 오늘 전방에서 처음에 가운데서 뛰다가 왼쪽으로 빠져서 더 좋았는데 어떻게 생각했냐고. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think he was better than the first game. I think the thing about him being in the left is in this kind of game, he can take these defenders one on one. He has more space on the left side. Whereas in Spurs, like, if you have Madison fit, if you have all these players feeding Son, he's very clinical in the middle, right? So he just gets those chances and finishes them. But whereas on the left side at Spurs, you got less space to worry about. His PL is very tight. But here, I think, yeah, he was very effective. But what do you guys think about some of the like worst players today? I guess who disappointed, right?
Leaky J is
As
maybe one.
always, LKJ, man. What
Yeah,
Leaky
is going?
J.
Why does he keep
We're
getting
gonna have to
picked?
start calling him 45-minute J.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Halftime
let me
J.
relay that. 오늘 아쉬운 선수가 누구냐고 물어봤는데 이기재 선수가 굉장히 아쉽다고 하네요. 하프타임에 맨날 나와서 하프타임 제라고 불러야겠다고 이기재를. Yeah, so I think starting left back Kim Jin-soo, who started all the games at the World Cup, so he's out injured, along with Hwang Hee-chan. So unfortunately, he's the only option we got.
I thought Kim Taekwon was a lot better, but then obviously Seoul you put right back at the moment. I guess the issue is you don't have a natural left back. He's the only natural left back, right? Is that the issue? Is that why you keep playing him?
That That's correct. Seo Young-woo,
Mm.
if you move him to the left side, he's not. He's a natural right fullback, but Kim Tae-hwan and Seo Young-woo both are natural rights. So
Mm.
that's correct. He keeps cutting back, and it's just not natural.
Yeah, and go on.
David, Cho really frustrated me today, because on the back of the performances of his displays at the World Cup, I was expecting big things from him in this tournament. And I think both games now, he's been disappointing. Today, his finishing, he definitely should have got at least a goal today. I mean, what was your reaction to his performance?
Yeah, so let me translate that. 배는 조규성 선수가 오늘 너무 아쉬웠다고 월드컵에서 잘해서 이제 올라갈 일만 남은 줄 알았는데 오늘 어떻게 된 거냐고 물어보네요. Yeah, so really disappointing for Choke. And we have another striker that can't play for personal reasons, Hwang Hee-jo.
Oh.
So we're kind of out of option. Yeah, so that Celtic striker O and Cho Gyu-sung are our only options. And you're talking about Celtic and Midtjylland in Denmark strikers, right? So I think that's the position where, along with the left back, those are our weak links, and I think everyone sees that. All the fans agree with that. So it kind of like we need a strong striker like who can finish, who can compete with these Middle Eastern physical defenders who are very good, because we're gonna keep facing these teams. 그래서 제 생각은 조규성 선수가 좀 아쉽다고 저도 동의하는 말을 했습니다. Go ahead, Sam.
Hwang Hee-chan, what is the latest on him? When's he going to be available? Is there any news on that?
황희찬 선수 부상을 물어보네요. 그래서 so last thing I heard, I think he's aiming to be back the next game, Malaysia game, or round of 16. And I think the way he keeps getting injured for Wolves, I think every single year there's 2-3 games he misses out. He has little niggles here and there. So I would rather him rest for the third game, and I want to see him come in fresh for the the round of 16 game.
Yeah, because I think Lee Jae-sung as well. He's not really doing it, is he? He's not been great last couple of games. I'm surprised though, because as you say, you've got the options who came off the bench today weren't terrible. I thought that O was a bit better than Cho, and then you also had Jeong Woo-young, who plays for Stuttgart. He looked also a little better. So is there any criticism from Klinsmann for maybe playing Cho and Lee and Lee Jae-sung ahead of these guys who are playing in Europe at the moment?
Yeah, good point. Let me translate that. 오형규 선수가 들어왔을 때 조규성 선수보다 잘했고 정우영 선수가 이재성 선수보다 좋아 보였는데, 그래서 클린스만 감독에 대한 비판이 있는지 이런 거에 대해서, 그리고 저 개인적으로는 전술이 없는 게 이제 한국 팬들의 생각이잖아요. 그것도 한번 물어보겠습니다. So I think in terms of personnel, you're exactly right. I think O is in a maybe better form, and I think we can definitely try him. Jung is an interesting one, Stuttgart. So he was at Bayern Munich actually, under 19 or under 21. I forget exactly how old he was, but he's always been in Germany, so the talent is there. Interestingly, what fans criticize about Klinsmann is lack of tactics, just lack of anything. Just if you watched our games, and you guys been watching a lot of them, just hit a lot of long balls. See if our striker can get to it. A lot of ball switching, but not doing anything when you get the ball. Not really doing. It's not like Ange ball. It's very stiff. If you look at it, it's not very fluid. You don't have, like you said in the game, Lee Gang-in not playing in the middle, right? Where he can affect the game. He can be like our Madison. So what do you think about that? Because our fans have been saying in the chats as well, maybe not Klinsmann out yet, but like, what is he doing? There's no tactics. So what's your take on that, Ben and Sim?
I've kind of felt it the last couple of games, to be honest, from Klinsmann and the tactics, because not really getting the best out of any of the really strong players that they do have. I kind of feel like they should move to, like I said it in the last game, maybe a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3. Have Lee Kang-in in the central areas, because you look at the way Jordan played today, very very compact, very deep. They needed someone that can pick that lock, and Lee Kang-in is the one that can work in those tight spaces. So it was absolutely nuts to me where he was just kind of shafted out to the right and not really involved in the game, particularly in that first half. So I do kind of put a lot of criticism on Jurgen Klinsmann and the way he's setting up the South Korean side at the moment.
They seem to rely a lot on like individual moments, don't they? You even look at the Bahrain game, like Lee Kang-in had to step up and just score for, some great goals. But when it comes to like to overall team play and how they're like opening teams up and team moves, it's very few and far between.
They've got good technical players, Korea. They've got
That's
really
why
good
it keeps
technical
them good.
players.
That's what keeps them competitive.
And they should be playing a system where that allows them to flourish instead of just involving or relying on just big moments in games. And that's what they're doing at the moment.
And it's frustrating today because the goalkeeper was terrible, that Jordan goalkeeper. He was so bad, and Korea should have definitely taken more advantage of that because he was spilling every shot, and yet Korea didn't take enough shots.
Yeah. 배는 요르단이 오늘 이렇게 수비 밀집되고 그랬는데 그런 거를 이제 공략하려면 이강인 선수가 가운데서 해줘야 되는데 왜 이강인 선수가 오른쪽에서 뛰고 경기에 이렇게 공을 잘 못 잡게 하는지 모르겠다고, 그리고 전술이 없어 보인다고 얘기를 하네요. 쌤 얘기는 이제 너무 선수 개인 플레이에만, 개인이 이렇게 잘해서 경기를 풀어주기만 바란다고 하고, 바레인전에도 이강인 선수가 개인의 능력, 개인 역량으로 만든 골들 때문에 이겼다고 하고, 저희랑 보는 눈이 그런 쪽에선 비슷한 것 같고, 벤 얘기는 이제 기술적인 선수들이 많은데 왜 이런 시스템을 쓰는지 모르겠다고, 요르단 골키퍼 오늘 아쉬웠는데 더 잘 공략할 수 있었다고 아쉬워하네요. So one interesting question for you guys, so because some fans have been saying this, you guys are huge Spurs fans and very well known in Korea as well, by the way, getting more and more famous. So isn't it better for you guys if Korea goes out at some point early, not make it to the final? There's Brighton game, right? During the exact same time of the final.
Yeah.
And if Son returns early to Spurs, is it better for you guys? Because some people, see you guys celebrating and, 100% of the people are very, very appreciative, and they love that you guys are cheering for Korea and for Sony. But obviously better for Sony to win, but better for you guys personally if Son's back, right? It gives options to Spurs and captain of the team, talisman. So, what's your take on that?
I think that with Sonny and with Korea, I want to see Sonny do the best that he can possibly do. We know how much the national team means to him. He's very patriotic. And as much as, it'll be an unbelievable thing if Heung-min Son comes back and he's back for the next game or the next couple of games. But I want to see him do the best that he could possibly do. And for him to lift that trophy and to come back to Spurs with that momentum and that confidence, I think it will do Spurs the world of good for him to come back with a trophy behind him.
Yeah, I completely agree. The only thing I worry about is if he gets to a final and then loses, because he spent all that time away from Spurs and doesn't end up with a trophy. So 100%, if he goes all the way, he needs to come back with a trophy for sure. Of course, from a selfish point of view, from Tottenham's point of view, the sooner he comes back, the better. But I think Spurs fans realise how much Korea means to Son, and we'd all be delighted to see Son lifting a trophy with his national team. We know how much pressure he's under, being the talisman for the whole country, being the face of Korea. So I also understand, if he was to have a bad tournament, maybe that could have a negative ramifications for come back to Tottenham. Maybe he'll be a bit down for a few weeks. Maybe it would affect his mood. We know what an emotional guy he is, and sometimes that can affect. I'm not saying he would come back and not play well at all, but maybe for a week or two, that could have a negative effect potentially. So I do want him to have a good tournament. I want him to go all the way and win it and come back as a winner and as a champion, and that would give him all the more confidence. And maybe going second half of the season, if we also get to an FA Cup final or something, he can use that experience of winning a trophy to help us. So for me, I want him to win it for sure.
Yeah, so let me translate that real quick. So, 벤은 굉장히 손흥민이 애국자이고 그런 손흥민 선수가 우승하는 걸 보고 싶다고 당연히 토트넘에 일찍 돌아오는 게 제가 질문한 게 뭐였냐면 이제 토트넘 팬으로서 현지 팬들은 손흥민 선수가 아시안컵에서 탈락하고 빨리 오는 게 낫지 않냐 이런 말을 하시는 분들이 굉장히 많아서 제가 물어봤어요. 그런데 벤은 이제 그렇긴 하지만 손흥민 선수가 트로피 우승하고 그 모멘텀을 갖고 토트넘에 돌아와서 하는 게 토트넘에게도 더 좋을 거라고 한두 경기 더 뛰는 것보다 그렇게 얘기를 하고요. 심은 이제 이렇게 걱정되는 거는 결승까지 갔는데 지면 이제 토트넘에서 시간을 못 보냈는데 지면 그게 제일 아쉬울 것 같다고 하고 근데 현지 팬들은 다 손흥민 선수 응원하고 있고 우승하기를 바란다고 합니다. And what do you guys think about bed football, the Jordanian? Have you guys seen anything like this? Do you see anything, in PL, right? Like you don't do it because, fellow players and fans make fun of you, right? They're like, get up, what are you doing? And like in these kind of games against Asian teams, we see it a lot, to be honest. So let me translate that and then let me get your take on it. 그래서 제가 여쭤본 게 이제 침대 축구 프리미어리그에서는 볼 수 없는 이런 건데 어떻게 생각하는지 좀 물어볼게요. 한국은 아시아 팀들 상대할 때 이런 일이 자주 있으니까. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's not what we see week in, week out in the Premier League, but it is what we've been accustomed to seeing with maybe Jose Mourinho playing in the big games and those kind of styles of football. So it's not completely alien to us. It's just when you're a fan of Korea or when you're a fan of an attacking team playing against someone that's playing bed football, it's just so frustrating. It really is. You're sitting there just pulling your hair out, watching the game. They're going down, lying on the floor for 10 minutes, faking injury. And it's just very Jose Mourinho-esque, to be honest. And I feel like it's kind of outdated in football now, this kind of style. But when it's a big kind of team coming up against a team that's maybe not on such a big trajectory like a Korean against a Jordan, you kind of expect it, don't you? And you need to use your quality to work around it. And I just don't think Korea did that today, unfortunately.
I'm going to put it on tonight to help me sleep. I think put on some bed football. I think that'll help. But
it'll give you nightmares, not help you sleep. To be fair,
you're probably right about that. But to be fair, I think you're right about it being outdated because look at the consequence of what happened today. They had wasted all that time, and what happened? 11 minutes added on, and Korea were able to score in stoppage time. So I think that's the benefit of having these extended stoppage times that take all these things into account because they actually do have the time on now. So that's really great. And Korea, they could have won it at the end. Yeah, Hong had that chance right at the end, didn't he? Which he probably should have scored. So I think... these teams waste time. It's very, very frustrating, but at least the game is trying to correct it. So that's what I can say.
그래서 벤은 이제 무리뉴 축구 이런 거에서 많이 본 적이 있는 축구라고 하고요. 프리미어리그에서 자주 볼 수는 없지만 침대 축구가 있기는 하고 이런 상황을 안 만들려면 이제 미리 우리가 골을 넣고 이제 먼저 리드를 잡아야 된다고 얘기를 하고 심은 이제 오늘 잘 시간에 이 경기를 다시 보면은 자는데 도움이 될 것 같다고 하고 근데 이제 경기가 이제 축구가 바뀌면서 오늘도 11분이나 추가 시간을 주고 이제 이런 식으로 침대 축구를 방지하려는 대책들이 나오고 있기 때문에 이제 그냥 우리가 잘해서 이길 수밖에 없다고 그리고 홍현석 선수가 마지막에 이길 수 있는 찬스가 있었는데 그것 때문에 이제 굉장히 아쉽다고 하네요. So I think that's it for me, guys. Unless you guys have anything else.
That's it from me. I think we'll be back on the 25th of January for the final group stage game, which is South Korea, Malaysia. David, thank you so much for coming on and doing the translation and all the help that you do give.